guys, I just wanted to share with you how I do all of my meal planning. There's going to be some other videos and tricks and tips later, so we're going to have different variety for you, but I just wanted to kind of show you how I do mine because we all do them differently. So for starters, I do the 21-day fix meal plans, so I follow the containers, and these are really good whether or not you're trying to lose weight, maintain weight, whatever. It just is a really good guide for you at least to start to know what you need from each food group, because a lot of times we think, okay, well, how am I going to meal plan? And then you're like, I don't know what I want for breakfast, I don't know what I want for lunch, dinner, but if you have some sort of guideline to follow, then you kind of know what you should have throughout the day, and that's why I like it, because it's very structured. And so this is the Core de Force one, but they come with all of the books. I just wanted to kind of show you. So this is what it kind of looks like. So it'll tell you how, whatever you figure out your bracket. Sorry, there's a glare. And then it'll tell you how much of each container to have. So that's kind of what I follow, and that's where I start. Okay, so then what I do, I like to work my way backwards and start with dinner. Because I feel like dinner for me is the one meal I know that I will indulge more, binge on, whatnot, if I don't have it really prepared. And then that way I can utilize containers and portions for my dinner and then kind of work backwards and kind of weave it in my day. So what I like to do is I like to write down an entire list of things that I love for dinner. And I usually start with the Fixate cookbook, just because it's already designed to go with all the containers, and it'll show you, like, for instance, this chicken noodle soup. It tells you right up here, like, what containers you need. So that's really easy for me to follow. So I start with dinners. So I write down everything I love for dinner. Some of the things I love to do is I love tacos, fajitas. We've done tomato basil soup. We've done the chicken noodle soup. We do like different type of sandwiches. We do salads. We do like rice bowls, things like that. Those are some of the things that are easy for me, and I don't have to stress out about. So I write down dinners, and then I kind of backtrack. So then I'll write down lunch options. Typically my lunches are my leftover dinners. Just because I'm at home, it's easy for me to do that. My husband does not like leftovers. So I usually only make sure I make whatever I want for dinner enough leftover for me. And usually like only 1 or 2 servings, just because I like to change things up. So that's kind of how I work my way backwards. And of course I'll do different things, and I'll tell you some of the things that I do as well. And then I go to breakfast. And so breakfast for me is very similar every single day. I do a lot of the same things. If I'm not having like an omelet, then I'm having Oikos Triple Zero Greek yogurt with some like strawberries or whatever kind of berries, and some Love Crunch granola a little bit in there. So a lot of my like morning routine is fairly similar, and I'm also throwing Shakeology in there with a snack, or like for breakfast, or an afternoon snack, depending on where my day is at. So that's kind of how I work backwards, just because my mornings are very similar. I don't really crave crazy things in the morning, so and I'm always in a rush. So that's kind of how I start. So then what I do is I start to think about, so we don't have like a deep freezer. We just have our little freezer. So when we're buying things, we don't buy a ton in bulk because we don't have the room for it. So when we do buy meat in bulk, I food saver it, but we usually don't have a ton. So, and the same with our pantry, like we don't buy a ton of things in bulk because we just don't go through it fast enough, just with us too. And so I pretty much know what is in my pantry, but a lot of times I'll do a quick glance, like I know that there's some whole wheat noodles in there. I know that we have canned fruit if we absolutely need it. I just know those little things that we have. So, then what I do is I start to write out the dinners for the week. So, for instance, Mondays are usually my day that I am running because I'm trying to get so much done. Because usually on Sundays we go to my sister's house for dinner, so we are gone and I have so much to do on Monday. I teach dance on Mondays until 6 o'clock, so I don't even get home until after 6:30, and we don't like to eat late. So a lot of times Mondays are like a day we designate for pizza, or like a fend for yourself night, or I'll do something in the crock pot or something like that. Those are my fast days. And yes, I love pizza, and we do have it on the plan. So that's what's nice, is you can still have pizza once in a while. So that's awesome. So Mondays are always my quick day. So then I know Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, I am always available to make something a little bit more. So one of my favorite things to do is I like to take like a roast, and I put it in the crock pot on high at night for 8 hours, and I'll put like a cup of water or a couple cups of water and then some seasoning. You put it on high for 8 hours, and then you put it on low for 8 hours, and it sounds crazy, but it creates this perfect shredded beef. And so if I do that on like a Monday night, I know that Tuesday we'll have beef, so then I can create something with like potatoes and a veggie, and then I'll food savor some of it if we're not going to be eating it right away. And then say Wednesday we can have like shredded beef tacos, or like enchiladas, or shredded beef salads, or things like that. And then, you know what I mean? So then I go that way. And then I kind of plan my week according to the meat that I'm going to be utilizing as well. Because a lot of times I'll do like crock pot chicken. My husband doesn't love crock pot shredded chicken, so I don't do it a ton. So a lot of times I'll just like make some chicken and then cut them in strips, and then we have them ready to go. Or I'll buy like chicken patties at Costco, so we have chicken all the time. So I kind of base a lot of my meal planning for dinners on the meat that we're going to do for that week too. And you know, you don't always have to have meat, but that's just kind of how I do it, because I feel like it's the easiest for me to start. So then what I do is I start to I look at my calendar too, because there's a lot of times where we have events going on. Fridays we usually stay in. A lot of times Saturdays we'll go out, so I know that we're probably going to be out on Saturdays. And like I said, on Sundays we go to my sister's. So when I plan my Sundays, usually I try to know ahead of time like what she's going to be making, so then I can plan out like my containers throughout the day. So just kind of a recap. Mondays are my easy day. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, we always have something. Fridays I'm home, so I can make something. Saturdays we're usually gone. So you kind of just have to know your schedule. You need to know if you have any events coming up, if you're not going to be around, because there's no point in trying to create this elaborate meal plan and plan it all for Wednesday. You're going to have this and you won't even be home. So really, I just look at a calendar and write it all out, and then I start that way. So I also have this. It's a monthly meal plan, and I write dinner ideas on here too. I only like to plan a week at a time though, just because, like I said, we don't go through things very fast, and so things go bad fast for us. So I go shopping once, maybe twice a week, but for me, it's easier for me to go shopping on like a Wednesday or a Thursday, because I know that we're not going to run out of food on the weekends. And Mondays, like I said, are a busy day for me, so I don't have time to go on Mondays. So a lot of times I'm planning up until Wednesday, and then I make my trip Wednesday, and I go, and then we have food for the weekends. We're good for Monday, and you know what I mean? So everyone's different though. Like I used to try Mondays, and it just didn't work for me with my dance teaching schedule and nap time and everything. So you just have to find the time that works for you. I also do online grocery shopping. That is awesome. If you have that in your area, it's totally worth it. I do Macy's because that's what's close, but I know that Walmart is great too. And the nice thing about it is you can shop the sales online. You can keep track of what's in your cart. You can take things, remove them, whatever. So that way you can kind of know where to go with that. So when I'm creating my shopping list, so what I do is I go through my recipes that I'm going to be using, and usually for me, I write down almost everything that I need. I make a couple lists. And the reason I do this is because I hate looking at a recipe and then trying to look in my pantry and go back and forth. So I just write down everything it tells me that I need. Then I go into my pantry and look and see if I have it all. And I cross. I just start crossing stuff off. And if I mentally know that we have it, then I won't write it down. But if there's some things that I'm not sure, I will just go and cross it off after I found it or whatnot. That way I know exactly what I need, and I'm not coming home with another bottle of parsley or something like that that we already had and wasting money that way. Another thing too is I know for us, when I do grocery shopping and I'm going to Walmart and maybe grabbing a couple of other things, like we do more of our toilet paper and toiletries at Costco. So when I go to Walmart, I know that it might just be grabbing like toothpaste or lotion or just random little things. My goal is to stay under $75 every time I go. So, and to some that may not work for you. It may be too less. Like I said, there's 2 of us, and then we have a 1.5-year-old, and she doesn't eat like a ton of crazy stuff. So I know that $75 is about where I want to keep it. And like I said, that's including other things too. We try to keep it that budget. It used to be 50, but then, you know, she's getting older, so we need diapers more often and stuff like that. So 75 is kind of where we go. And then when I am checking out, and if it happens to be a little bit more, that's when I go home and reevaluate what can I do for the next week to fix it. And so, like I said, in this, I got this really cool planner. What it does, it also has like a monthly budget here. So then I can go here and put the expenses. So right here, say we spent $80. Our budget was $75. So the difference right here is $5. So I need to figure out how to save $5 the next time I go. And sometimes our trips might be a little bit more one time and less the next because of different meat that we're buying. But if you can buy in bulk, go for it. That's usually the cheapest way to get your meat, and shopping sells for meat. I know like a lot of times, like right at the fall transition of the year, they do lots of meat sales. So I usually watch for those as well. And like I said, I food saver a lot of stuff. So that's kind of how I do all of my meal planning. That, like I said, you just need to not overcomplicate it and find, you know, kind of know your schedule. Find what days are going to be your busy days. And the more you plan ahead, you can make an awesome crock pot meal, and you can make healthy meals. They don't have to be anything elaborate. You just need to know your schedule, and then that way you can plan. And planning will make all the difference, rather than coming home every single day and being like, I don't know what to get for dinner, and you have 4 kids, and so you just decide to go to Chick-fil-A, and then you spend at least $5 to $10 on each child, then you're spending $40. And I'll tell you what, when we meal plan and we really try to stick to our plan instead of going out, we save so much more money. And honestly, with Shakeology, we save a ton of money because I am not going and buying snacks all the time because I don't crave them. I don't want them. Those are not within my goals. So we don't really buy snacks. And the other thing too is just remember, if you feel like maybe your budget is a little bit too small, and you can't stay within that budget, you have to remember that you're important too. So maybe trying to find another way to tweak here and there. We've done that. We've discovered that, you know what, sometimes we can find diapers different. We found diapers cheaper on Amazon. So we're gonna do those so we have an extra $5 or whatever to put towards food. So just finding those little ways. Another thing, we have Sling TV. We decided that we're going to keep it at the lowest level, so we have that extra $15 for something if we need it, because you never know what comes up. So just kind of tweaking those little things really helps with your meal planning budget, because one thing you don't want to be doing is constantly be buying like really, really unhealthy foods and then making yourself feel sick. That's not worth it, because then it's really not even worth the food that you buy. So hopefully this all helps. If you have any questions, just let us know. Like I said, try not to overcomplicate it. That's what we're here for. We're here to help you. And we will have a little action post at the end of the day to help you get going on your meal planning. So I will see you guys later.